Greetings, fellow Watford fans, and it's time for, of course, the Orns 10-minute take. Omar here with that 10-minute take on Watford 2, a Blackpool nil. A happy day for the Hornets, a happy Hornets day on Graham Taylor match day as Watford FC get the job done on the pitch against the Blackpool side in the bottom three in the championship at the start of play today. Watford knew that a win would get them ever closer to those automatic places, pending the results, of course, at both Burnley and at Sheffield United. But Watford had to take care of their own business, and they did that, dominating the game against the Blackpool side, who really didn't create too many chances in this game, didn't trouble Watford's back line at all, really, for the most part. They had a few moments where they got in behind and tried to create something, but it really came to nothing, as the Watford defense today were stellar, keeping the clean sheet yet again for Slaven Bilic. Watford now have had at least 9, if not 10 clean sheets under Slaven Bilic. I don't remember the number at the moment, but they have had 2 consecutive clean sheets in the championship with their play in these last 2 games to start the brand new year. A 1-0 win against Norwich, and then this game today against the Tangerines, who they got revenge over, and revenge never tasted so sweet against the Tangerines, who dominated Watford in the game back in October at Bloomfield Road, but today were dominated by Watford. Watford took a long time, though, to get the all-important goal that would see them on their way. Toby Adeyemo picked the 72nd minute to score in his championship debut for Watford. Toby Adeyemo, just 17 years of age, a Watford Academy player, picked the 72nd minute to get that goal on this Graham Taylor match day, and certainly Graham Taylor himself would be very pleased about that. He scored the goal and a great build-up from Ismail Assar, got the ball straight over to another debutant, Martins, who looked very good today on the right-hand side. And Martins had a ball he got the ball and just shot the ball at the goalkeeper, who made a good save. It bounced off the goalkeeper and parried out to Adeyemo out wide, who from the right-hand side was able to drive the ball in low on his left foot, past the goalkeeper and into the back of the Blackpool net to give Watford what would be the winning goal of the game. And it was a great celebration as well. Adeyemo couldn't believe that he'd even scored. It's as if he had just won £2 million on a celebrity quiz or some kind of game show. It was a fantastic moment for Watford, and of course, obviously for Toby Adeyemo, who was superb today in just a few minutes of action. He scored after about being 5 minutes on the pitch in his championship debut. But Watford had other very good performers today. Craig Cathcart in the back was immaculate today. And we also saw the grandeur of Kone. Kone was brilliant again, his first championship game. And he had a great game against Reading in the FA Cup just last week. Kone showed you that he was committed, and he went forward with endeavor and purpose and didn't waste time. As soon as he got the ball in front of goal, he was willing to take the shot. And that's what we want to see. We want to see passion and endeavor from these Watford players. And we certainly got it today from the Watford team throughout this whole game. And they really did themselves proud, as did James Morris, continuing on from strength to strength in that left back position. I think he should be staying at left back at this point, and Camera will have to watch from the bench. It will be good to have some healthy competition between these two players. James Morris now has earned that spot, as he has given you very good performances every time he's been on the pitch, and Camera has tended to disappear in a lot of these games when he's been on the pitch. And I think Camera could actually learn a thing or two from being on the bench and watching the passion and the purpose of players like James Morris, of players like Kone, of players like Martins, players like Asprilla, who was an integral part to both of these goals. His setups to start these goals were very, very key. Asprilla off the bench was excellent today. And Ferreira, who came in at right back, had some moments as well, although there were times where he disappeared a little bit. But you can see what kind of a player he is. He's got forward positivity on his mind. Whenever he has the ball, there was one run where he threaded straight through the midfield and started to orchestrate things very well indeed. Hamza Chowdhury returned, and he was very good as well before being subbed off. I thought this was a team win for Watford, again, which is a very good sign because they had a team performance against Norwich a couple of weeks ago to start the year. and they're doing it again here. And again, a clean sheet, as I alluded to before. These players were up for it today. You couldn't find anybody really in a Watford shirt who let you down. Maybe some people might look at Vakun Bayo, who trudged off the pitch rather slowly at the time it was a 0-0 game. And as soon as he was subbed off, within a few minutes after that, Watford got that goal. Bayo did put himself about, missed a chance or two, but not one of his better games, I think, for him today. But Watford overall were superb. I thought they dealt with things well. Just when the game started to lull in periods, it looked like Watford were going to completely fall asleep, but then they energized themselves. The key substitutions in the second half, Martin's coming in, Ferreira coming in, those two players, I think, were very important to the way Watford began that second half and finally got things going around the 60th minute when they really put on the afterburners and began to dominate this game as they had throughout most of the game. Blackpool really didn't have a look in throughout this game, if we're being honest. Even Yates, who had dominated Watford in the game in October with 2 goals, he really did not look like the same player that he was in the game in October, but that's due to Watford containing him. There was one chance for him that the goalkeeper, Daniel Backman, saved comfortably pretty much, but it was really that kind of day for Blackpool. They really did not get going in this game the way they did back in October, and Watford continued to play well as the game went on. Should have gone for a third, and they were going for it. They didn't quite get it, but Ismail Assar, he got a penalty. I didn't mention that. In the 87th minute, he dispatched it with ease and took Watford to third place in this one. It's the first penalty that Ismail Assar had converted for Watford since the game against Millwall back in April of 2021. That was the game that Watford got promoted to the Premier League in, and that was off the strength of that penalty by Ismail Assar back then. It's been almost 2 years, would you believe? Now, to be fair, there have been injuries, and Watford have not had a whole lot of penalties given to them over the last season or two, but definitely this was a very important goal for Ismail Assar, his 7th of the season. That puts him one behind João Pedro. Sarr, who I think had his best game this whole season in this particular game, with a confident look, someone who belonged on the pitch and who was belonging in the action as well. And when it really came about, he got better when Bayo was off the pitch for me, but he did have an all-around very good game, Sarr, and he's got to keep that going. Watford have to keep playing the youth. They've got to keep that going. Play these academy players. It can only help you going forward. It can only serve you well going forward. This is a team, a club in rebuilding mode. They're just not telling you that, but they are. The fact is that the dead weight has to start to leave, and these players that you're seeing on the pitch now are the ones who care, and they are welcome anytime, as far as I'm concerned, to be on the pitch at the Vic or anywhere else. And I think Graham Taylor would second that as well. Sensational performance from the lads today, a well-deserved victory, a Watford side that played with passion, purpose, endeavour, and spirit, all the kinds of things that Graham Taylor absolutely preached and practiced for these Watford players, and he would be delighted with this result today. Watford get the well-deserved victory, and they did continue to press for a third goal, another clean sheet under Slaven Bilic, and again, a Watford victory that makes Watford a third-place team in the table on 43 points. They're still 11 points behind Sheffield United. They are continuing to play well. Up next for Watford, Rotherham. That is the game that will be at the Vic next weekend. Watford today, no injury worries, no fresh ones at least. That's encouraging. And this is a very encouraging look so far in 2023 for Watford FC in the Championship. The final score, Watford 2, Blackpool 0. This has been the Orns 10-minute take.